quickly, let's complete this chapter today. So if we take a review in the redox reaction, we have seen oxidation is loss of electron, reduction is gain of electron. So from that knowledge, so what is oxidation? It is a loss. So all ionic bond compounds, all ionic compound formation where the transfer of electron takes place between metal and a non-metal, and simple displacement reactions, I'll say as a redox reaction, because a redox reaction in which the oxidation is taking place simultaneously. So after understanding that, we have done to understood that what are the reactions which are undergoing redox reactions. We have to understood the meaning of oxidation state number. So what is oxidation state number? The charge which is present on that respective atom or molecule or ion present in the compound, it's called an oxidation state number, which is actually sometimes more or times it's equal to the valency. So always the electropositive metals will form a positive and electronegative non-metals will form the negative oxidation state, and also in them there is a gradation. So whenever we then afterwards we have calculated the oxidation state number, like agar H2SO4 में S का क्या है, तो always remember hydrogen is always taken as 1 plus, the negative it's taken as 1 minus, and O is taken as 2 minus. So this is H1 plus O2 minus. It's absolutely always constant. Even Na plus K plus is always constant. So like simplify karala, the top 20 elements of the periodic table, they have a fixed oxidation state number as they have only one valency. So from that oxidation state number, when I'm comparing with the reactant and product, we get to know that the certain element, the certain particle, whether it is undergoing oxidation or reduction by that loss and gain of electron. So for afterwards, we have done the balancing the chemical equation by oxidation number method. So for that oxidation number method for the balancing the chemical reaction, to put forward the oxidation state number, extremely important. So I think we have done a practice of that. So मी next time तुम्हाला एकदा एक वर्कशीट. So just to have a more thing, like इथपर्यंत सगळ्यांना कळतंय? यश, ईशान, तन्वी, वरुण, कनिका.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely no doubt. कनिका, यश, ईशान तुम्ही लास्ट लेक्चरला थोडे ऑन ऑफ होतात, but are you understanding how to balance the chemical equation? यश, ईशान
हो मैम.
कळतंय? ईशान कळतंय? Okay, so afterwards, let's come to the last part. Now, afterwards, we have done, I think, Kanika, हमने वो try this किया था या नहीं किया था? Classify the following.
किया था.
किया था. So simple है, the one which shows, always remember, whatever changes takes place, that should take place with the reactant. So whoever is undergoing oxidation, whoever is undergoing reduction, one which is undergoing oxidation is a good reducing agent or reductant. The one which is undergoing reduction is a good oxidizing agent, oxidant. So always whatever the change takes place in terms of loss or gain of electron, it should be with reactant. So there Cl minus to give you Cl2. Even in this reaction, just to explain you the concept, या reaction मध्ये okay, Varun. So या reaction मध्ये always remember when the reaction is like this. So actually I have to see to it that कि क्या हो रहा है. तो Cl minus का ये electron जब loss होगा, when it will lose 2 electron, so to balance it, then it will form Cl2. So the loss of electron is oxidation. So to understand that a particular reaction is undergoing oxidation or reduction, I have to think about part. Reactant. I'm not interested in product because for me whatever is happening is the reactant one. So uska मुझे देखना है कि oxidation है या reduction है by loss or gain of electron. So please don't create mistake in this part. Whatever you are doing, it should be with the reactant only. It should be with the reactant only, not should be with the product. So now the last part of the lesson which is there, which is redox reaction and electrode potential. So actually what we are using, by using this concept of redox reaction, how an electricity is generated, because the electricity is can be generated by two way, the one through the metallic conductor and other through the electrolytic solution. So what we are doing electrolysis, we are doing this electrolytic conductor we are using, and through that metallic conductor the loss and gain of the electron is taking place, which is but obvious in redox reaction, and which understood that and so honestly speaking we are creating a Daniell cell, we are creating a cell which is based, the principle is redox reaction. So what we are learning, the electrode potential is nothing but the potential generated when this passage of the electric current, when the passage of this, when the electrons are transferred, and due to the electron transfer, whatever the passage of the electric current is generated, which I am calling as electrode potential. So depending upon jitna zyada hoga, utna electrode potential zyada hoga. So what the significance of the redox reaction, which is used to generate electricity, and the application of that part we are going to see in a Daniell cell where the electricity is generated. I think हा part for माझ्या ICSE च्या मुलांना थोडासा सोपा जाईल, but for Ishan, Tanvi, Varun, I hope you are understanding the meaning of passage of electron. स्कूल लेवलला इलेक्ट्रिक करंट असा बघितलेला होता की इलेक्ट्रिक करंट एकदम मेटॅलिक कंडक्टर मधनं पास होतो, जिथे मेटल्स वाय दे आर गुड कंडक्टर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, बिकॉज दे इन देयर क्रिस्टल लॅटिस दे हॅव free electrons which able to conduct that electric current in solid state. But electric current can be also conducted in liquid state. Now that liquid either can be molten liquid, which I'll melt, or it can be aqueous, so that's salt. So metallic conductor is, I'm talking about metal in solid state. In electrolytic conduction, I'm calling it is metallic conductor मध्ये फक्त electrons चे loss and gain होतं. Electrolytic conduction मध्ये I'm using a salt. I'm using an ionic compound, and we know that ionic compound dissociates in water, and thereby it forms positive ions and the negative ions. The positive ions, the cation, the anions will go to anode, and the electric current, it will, because of this flow of the ions, it generates an electrode potential which results in the passage of electric current. म्हणजे मी सॉलिड स्टेट मधनं मेटल मधनं इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पास करू शकते, आणि मी कुठल्याही सॉल्टला एकतर वॉटर मध्ये डिझॉल्व केलं किंवा त्याला मेल्ट केलं तर त्याच्यामधनं मी काय करते, दे विल फॉर्म आयन्स. बाय इन लिक्विड स्टेट, बिकॉज इन सॉलिड स्टेट these ionic compounds, the ions are not free, and for the passage of electric current, ions should be generated in that electrolytic solution, so which I am calling as an electrolyte. So the positive to positive electrode, the negative ions to the negative ions to the positive electrode. This way the movement takes place, thereby causing and you can say electricity. So with this baseline idea, let's see how we can use this concept of redox reaction in the generation of electricity that we are going to see in the. So एक मिनिट, मी जरा ना माझा व्हिडिओ स्टॉप करते. जस्ट अ मिनिट, मी जरा ना रुमाल घेऊन आले. जस्ट अ मिनिट. Okay, so sorry, let's begin. So let's talk about 6.4, which is redox reaction and electrode potential. So we noted in section 6.1.1 that displacement reaction can be looked upon as a redox reaction. From our understanding, formation and the displacement reactions are the redox reaction. The simple displacement reaction they have given Zn plus Cu2 plus 1. आता ह्याचा अर्थ काय आहे, that 2 plus 1 is nothing but that it is nothing but like this. We have done it like this. Now when I put forward the ionic reaction, when the ions are taking place, I am simply writing like this. I am simply. So काय फरक आहे? This is a normal reaction and this is an ionic chemical equation. So simple reaction, Zn by it is loss of 2 electrons to form a positive ions. So always we know gain of oxidation state number is oxidation and the loss of oxidation state number plus 2 to 0 is reduction. So it is simple as that of, so this is a simple displacement reaction to explain you this. So this reaction, consider displacement reaction. This reaction can be brought about in two ways. The simpler method to observe this reaction is to take a copper sulfate solution in a container, dip zinc rod in it. The redox reaction takes place in that container. Zinc gets oxidized to Zn2 plus and copper 2 plus ions gets reduced to metallic copper. A direct transfer of the electron from zinc atom to cupric ion takes place in this case. The electron transfer from Zn atom to Cu2 plus ion can be demonstrated by carrying out the two half reactions in the two separate containers. Can you quickly within 2 minutes draw that Daniel cell? Quickly, please. तुम्ही तो ड्रॉ केलात की तुम्हाला ऍक्च्युअली ती प्रोसेस जरा नीट कळेल. तुम्हाला ऍडमिशन मिळाली का कुठे? हॅलो, हा वरुणचं माहितीये मला. व्हॉट अबाउट अदर्स?
मिळाली.
कुठे मिळाली यश?
KHS.
व्हेरी गुड, कॉंग्रॅच्युलेशन यश.
मॅम मला पण KHS ला घेतलं.
व्हेरी गुड ईशान, व्हेरी गुड. काय तुमचं 11वीचं इयर जाऊ दे आता. काय जरा कॉलेज जरा एन्जॉय केलं असतं जरा. झालं? My internet is little unstable today. Yeah. Okay, Varun. Can you hear me? Varun, माझा आवाज ऐकू येतोय तुला? Okay. What about others? Yash, Kanika, Tanvi?
Program.
Okay, so shall I begin? Tanvi, Ishan, Yash? Okay, if you look at the setup, so मैं explain करूं? Tanvi, Ishan, Yash? So if you look at the setup, you will understand that the setup in the figure, which is 6.1, which is a Daniell cell, it's a simple electrochemical. We are using the chemical convert into electrical energy. So the zinc and the copper plates are connected by an electric wire through a switch and voltmeter. So if you look at this, there is a zinc electrode which is acting like a basically a positive terminal of the battery, which is anode, which is a negative terminal of the battery, which is cathode. Then there is, you can say there is a voltmeter to find out the electrode potential. Then there is a zinc salt solution, which is in one container. The copper salt solution, both can be in the sulfate form, in the aqueous solution form, they are present. The color, they have differentiated the color. As we know, zinc being more reactive, the electron flow will take place. The loss of electron will take place from zinc, and that electron flow towards the copper. Then there is a salt bridge. See, basically, the salt bridges are used cars. So the purpose of the salt bridge is not to move that electrons from the electrolyte, rather to maintain the charge balance so that the electrons are moving from one half cell. So through the salt bridge, the electrons are not moving. To maintain that, you can say the charge balance, the charge balance, that charge balance has been maintained with the help of that ion, like that ion through that salt bridge. So if that salt bridge is not there, then eventually the voltage will come to zero once it has been removed. So that salt bridge has been removed. Now, the salt bridge remove kela na, at one point the voltmeter reading will come to zero if you remove it, that salt bridge. So the setup in figure 6.1 is that of the Daniell cell. The zinc and the copper plates are connected by an electric wire through a switch and voltmeter. The solution of two containers are connected by a salt bridge, which is a U-shaped glass tube containing a gel of potassium chloride or ammonium nitrate in agar-agar. Agar-agar is a kind of a solvent, you can say, which is like a jelly kind of a thing. So it's a U-type glass tube, and the glass tube that U-shape within the glass tube, we have a gel of KCl, or either a gel of KCl or ammonium nitrate, which is in agar-agar. So when the switch is on, circuit is completed as indicated by the deflection in voltmeter. The circuit has two parts. One in the flow of electric wire, which allows the flow of electron, and other in the form of two solutions joined by the salt bridge. So in short, this circuit has two parts. One part where the movement of the electron is taking place, and other part which is the by which the two solutions are joining by the salt bridge, where actually the ions are been moving to maintain that charge balance. In solution part of the circuit, so in solution part of the circuit, the electric current, so solution part आहे circuit चा, the electric current is carried in the where I am, the flow of electron at the form, okay, when in the solution part of the circuit, the electric current is carried by the movement of ions. When the circuit is complete, atom on the zinc plates are spontaneously lose electron when they are picked up by the external circuit. The electron flows from the zinc plate to the copper plate through wire. Cu2 plus ions in the second container receive these electrons through the copper plate and are reduced to copper atoms, which get deposited on the copper plate. Hence, here, since the zinc plate is acting like anode, it is not the negative. Me tikade wrong tikade kara. The zinc is at a positive electrode. So anode is a positive electrode and copper plate as a cathode. And what is cathode? It's a negative electrode. Just make a correction in your textbook. So anode is a positive electrode, cathode is a negative electrode. Thus, when two half reactions, namely oxidation and reduction, allowed to take place in the separate container and provision is made for completing the electric circuit, electron transport. So what am I doing? We are carrying out and reduction reactions in the separate container, and we are making a provision to complete the circuit. The electron transfer takes place through the circuit. This results in the flow of electric current in the circuit as indicated by how you will get to know that the electric current is been flowing by deflection in that reading of the voltmeter. This is a simple electrochemical cell called as a Daniell cell in which the electricity is generated by the redox reaction. I hope you all are understanding this part. It's very simple, easy. Now, in an electrochemical cell, electrons flow in the external circuit. The electrons flow in the external circuit from where? From anode to cathode, while the conventional, while while the conventional current always flow from इथे जे दाखवलेलं आहे ना, always conventionally आपण electric current कसा दाखवतो? From always from the negative to positive, but दाखवताना आपण positive to negative दाखवतो. So whenever we show the conventional current, it always show from positive to negative, but actually the electrons are moved from negative to positive, and electric potential is said to be established. Now that is the electrical potential is said to be established at the two electrodes in an electrochemical cell. It is called as electrode potential. So what is the resultant? Why this electrode potential has been created? Because of the flow of electrons which are taking place. And who are responsible for the flow of electron? The redox reaction. The redox reaction which is happening in that simple displacement reaction, it is responsible for the passage of the electrons. And because of the passage of the electrons which are connected in the circuit, electrons takes place, and because of the flow of electrons, actually it is from negative to positive. Conventionally, to show it's positive to negative, there is electric current is flowing. That is called as electrode potential. The magnitude. Now, what is the magnitude and the direction of the electrode potential? It completely depends on, highlight the part. So the magnitude and the direction of the electric potential depends on the nature of the metals and the ions, concentration of the ions, and the temperature. So because with the rise in temperature, the flow increases. So the factor which determines this electrode potential is the nature of metal, ions, concentration of the ions, and the temperature. The reaction which is associated with an electrode is called as electrode reaction, half cathode reaction, anode reaction I can pen down, and the two chemical species which are linked by the transfer of the electrodes as a redox couple. And तुम्हाला माहिती आहे redox couple कसं sign ने देतात? What is how they can be shown? See, to show the redox couple आता या केस मध्ये redox couple मी कसं दाखवू शकते? See, या केस मध्ये Zn solid is changing to Zn2 plus in aqueous. This is a redox couple. Okay, and the other one is copper 2 plus aqueous forming copper 2 plus aqueous forming to copper solid. So this is the way this is a sign for showing the redox couple. Okay, so this is the way. It's a simple electrolysis which is taking place because of the reduction reaction, because of the chemical change, predominantly the redox reaction, where it involves the flow transfer of the electrons, and because of the transfer of the electrons, the electric potential is generated, which we can see in the deflection in the voltmeter, which creates the electric current. Of the electric current depends on the nature of the ions, nature of the metal, concentration of the ions, and the temperature. And this is called as an electrode reaction, cathode reaction. So this will take place at, you can say, it's an anode reaction, and this is a cathode reaction. As simple as that. Okay. So is it clear with you? Now let's see about the standard electrode potential. So simple आहे, आपण फक्त त्या रिडॉक्स रिॲक्शनचा सिग्निफिकन्स बघितला की ज्यामध्ये त्या रिडॉक्स रिॲक्शन मुळे आपण कसं इलेक्ट्रोड पोटेन्शियल जनरेट करू शकतो इन एनी इलेक्ट्रोकेमिकल सेल. नाउ what is standard electrode potential? When the concentration of each species which are taking part in the electrode reaction is unity. जेव्हा मी जे दोन्ही वापरते ते दोन्ही concentration is unity, same, and the temperature is 298 Kelvin, which is almost room temperature, which is Celsius. Observed electrode potential is called as a standard electrode potential. So just highlight that definition. So what is standard electrode potential? When concentration of each species taking part in electrode reaction is unity and the temperature is 298 Kelvin, the observed electrode potential is called as a standard electrode potential, E0. It is shown by the symbol E0. By convention, the standard electrode potential of hydrogen electrode is 0 volt. So to take a unitary method, the standard electrode potential of hydrogen they have taken as 0.00 volt. Standard hydrogen electrode is used as a reference electrode for the determination of E0 values of various redox couple. So the reference is always taken. This the way we have used the unified atomic masses. So whenever we talk about the unified atomic masses, we take carbon 1/12 as a unit, and the other atomic masses we are measuring to that unitary mass of the carbon, which is 1/12. Same way, the standard electrode potential of hydrogen is taken as a reference is 0, and in comparison with that standard electrode potential of the hydrogen, rest of all the other elements electrode potentials are measured. Okay. Now, what is the significance of this standard electrode potential value? The electrode reaction is considered for the electrode potential is a reduction reaction. Therefore, the value and the sign of standard electrode potential is a measure of the tendency of active species in the electrode that is remain in oxidized and reduced form. So from the sign, आता तुम्हाला हे पुढे कळेल. हे जे मी आता theoretically read करते, you will understand. So what they want to tell you that from the sign, so some species will have the positive sign for that E0, some will have the negative sign, and from that positive and negative, you will get to know that whether that species is undergoing oxidation or reduction. Just if you turn the page, you will understand what am I saying. So if you look at the page, you will see all the non-metals, you will see the value of E0 as positive value. So they are one, the non-metals are undergoing reduction. So standard जे reduction करतात त्यांची value positive असते, and they metals lose electrons, so their value, they are undergoing oxidation, so their value is considered as a negative. So honestly speaking, from the positive and the negative value, you will aram se get to know that whether in that redox reaction, which species is undergoing oxidation and which species is undergoing reduction. The species which is undergoing oxidation, the standard E0 value will be the negative sign, and the one which is undergoing gain of electron जो non metal करते हैं उनकी जो value है E0 की, that is positive. And that positive sign, the more positive is the more standard electrode potential, more you can say the oxidizing agent, that that is the one which is going to differentiate. I hope मी जे बोलते ते कळत है तुम्हाला. यश, वरुण, तन्वी, कनिका, ईशान, are you understanding this? So it's like a reference. आपल्याला जशी आपण एक reactivity series of metal असते की नाही, ज्या series मध्ये आपण काही norms दिलेले आहेत. The metal which is placed on the top of the reactivity series is highly reactive, and as you go from top to bottom, the reactivity series of the metal, that the reactivity decreases, and the one which is placed at the bottom is least reactive metal. Same way, from the value of E0, from the value of E0, which is nothing but my standard, we can aram se get to know that the particular metal or particular non-metal, how easily it will undergo. From that value, we will get to know that सगळ्यात जास्त electrode potential आहे. Like if you look compare to that table, ना, is it a table 6.1 compare केलं, so look, fluorine, maximum plus value of 2.87. So it's the species which is readily going to take that, gain that electron, having more value. So that will give you an idea about how readily that one species will undergo loss of electron, and the one which is going to gain the electron. Kanika, Ishan, I hope both of you are understanding what I'm saying. Ishan? Okay. So after this, let's see about the significance. So that's what I want to say. What is given in the textbook, we have just looked like upon mathematical value varna, that's a meaning kadla. So the electrode potential reaction is considered for the reduction reaction. So the electrode reaction is considered for the electrode potential is a reduction reaction. So there at being a reduction reaction, ज्याला reduction करतात त्याला positive sign आहे. जे रिडक्शन करतात म्हणजे जे गेन करतात इलेक्ट्रॉन, त्या सगळ्या एलिमेंट्स ना पॉझिटिव्ह साइन है, और जो अपोजिट है जो लॉस करते उनको नेगेटिव साइन है. Therefore, the value and the sign of the standard electrode potential is a measure of the tendency of the active species in the electrode reaction to remain in oxidized or reduced form. A negative A0 means the redox couple is a stronger reducing agent, and who are good reducing agent? The metal. So in short, all metals will have the negative value of E0, and all strong non-metals will have the positive value. And that of the H2 couple. Here, the table 6.1 shows the standard electrode potential of the reduction process of some redox couple. The larger the negative value of E0 means the redox couple is a stronger reducing agent. देखो जिसकी सबसे ज्यादा negative sign है, it's a stronger reducing agent, और जिसकी ज्यादा positive sign है, like the one is more strong oxidizing agent. On the other hand, the more positive values of E0 means the redox couple is a stronger oxidizing agent. From the table 6.1, it has been seen that alkali metals have high negative value of E0, which means that they are strong reducing agents. The alkali metal have a great tendency to give away electron and form cations. On the other hand, fluorine has highly positive value of E0, thus the great tendency to gain electron and therefore very strong oxidizing agent. Very easy. So what we are doing, we are using the significance of this redox reaction to set up a cell to current, and from the value of that electrode potential, by taking in consideration of the standard electrode potential, we can aram se measure that whoever is the species which are taking part as a couple taking part in that redox reaction, which one is a stronger reducing agent and which is a stronger oxidizing agent. So एक parameter आहे त्या electrode potential च्या value वरनं. I hope. So आपण आधी कसं करतो, metals ची reactivity कसं करतो, आपण त्यांच्या reaction of oxygen वरनं measure करतो, त्यांच्या reaction of water वरनं measure करतो. He all alkali metals, they react with the ice cold water to form hydrogen, whereas the moderately reactive, they have to react with the water vapor. Same like that, this is a value which gives you an idea about the strong and the weakness of that metallic component in terms of the reducing agent, and the strongness and weakness of the non-metal in terms of the E0 value being an oxidizing agent. So honestly, त्यांनी फक्त एक problem दिलेला आहे, but this is not going to come because for this a practical work is required, because मला actually laboratory मध्ये ते setup करायला लागेल आणि त्या setup मध्ये त्या value बघायला लागेल, and then I can give the reference. Theoretically मला they have to provide me the values, otherwise it's not possible for me to proceed with this experiment. So mala hi laboratory work ahe. So by using the standard electrode potential, table predict the reaction between the following spontaneous, which is Fe3 plus and I minus, and second ahe Ag1 plus and Cu. So file first one, write the oxidation half reaction for the first species and the reduction half reaction for the other species. Change the sign of the E0 of the oxidation half species. Take the sum of the two E0 values. It is a sum is positive, then the reaction is spontaneous. Make काय केलं? 3 plus minus 2 electrons to form 2 Fe2 plus. E0 value is 1.5. I2 करायला E0 value is minus 0.54. So मी त्याचं electrode potential ची value बघितली. कुणाची? Fe3 plus. So Fe3 plus ची value मी बघितली. So Fe3 plus ची value आहे ती मी calculate केली. 2 Fe2 plus करतात. Fe2 plus ची value आहे 0.77. 2 Fe2 plus ions are forming. So 2 into 0.77 will be 1.54. 2 I minus will form 1 I2. सो 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन लॉस केले. सो द I2 का वैल्यू कितना दिख रहा है मुझे ऊपर? I2 is it been given? Yeah, it is 0.54. So it's a negative value. So if you count like तिचं तुम्ही व्हॅल्यू बघितली तर तुम्हाला you will get to know that like when I'll do if the sum is positive, so minus point it's a plus, and when the value is positive the reaction is spontaneous, and the value is Ag plus and Cu plus मध्ये पण this is a value when the value is positive, the sum is positive value, then the reaction is spontaneous. Will take place. If the value is negative, then the reaction will not take place that rapidly. So this will not come for you because it's a practical work. The theory, they will not ask you question. They will only ask the question for the practical work. So lesson sambhala. Are you understanding this lesson?
Yes, ma'am.
Yash, Tanvi. So मी एक 5 मिनिटं वेळ देते. Just आपण MCQs राहिले होते. I think आपण MCQs. First of all, before coming to the MCQ, let's solve the question number I and J, which is there. आपण I आणि J solve नव्हता केलेला. Can you open the page 92? Can we solve that question number 3 का I और J पहले करेंगे and then we'll go to the MCQ part. So, which of the following redox reaction, a redox couple is a stronger oxidizing agent? तो पहिली दिलेली आहे redox couple Cl2 is 6 volt and Br2 is 1.09 volt. So between the two, which you think which is a stronger oxidizing agent? So what is a parameter to define a particular couple or a particular species is a stronger oxidizing agent? कोण असेल दोन्ही मध्ये? Between Cl, yes, Kanika?
Cl2.
Perfectly correct, dear. Absolutely correct. Perfect. So because Cl2 की value ज्यादा है, more is the positive value, more is the oxidizing agent, stronger the oxidizing agent. So between MnO4 minus, which is 1.51, and Cr2O72 minus, which is E0 1.33, the more oxidizing agent will be MnO4 minus, because 1.51 is definitely greater value than the 1.33. So MnO4 minus is a stronger oxidizing agent. Easy. Let's go with the following redox couple, which is a stronger reducing agent. So they have given you the two values. So tell me the one which is stronger reducing, I and Mg.
Li.
Absolutely correct, Kanika. Perfect, dear. See, माझं oxidizing agent ला माझा criteria आहे. More is the positive value, more is the positive E0 value, more strong. Like it's the stronger the oxidizing agent. But for reducing agent, more is the negative value. जितनी ज़्यादा negative value minus है, उतना वो strong reducing agent है. So between Li and Mg, it's -3, -2. So Li is a more strong reducing agent. Zn and then it's a Fe. So as simple as that, -0.76, -0.44. Zn, but obvious more strong reducing agent. Simple. Eh? So the questions are going to come from that part only. Got it? Clear? Yeah. So if it's done, I'll give you 5 minutes to go through. I think हमने MCQ नव्हते ना केले. We haven't done MCQ. नहीं है, I suppose. Yash, Tanvi, Ishan. Hello. Done all MCQs?
हो मॅम.
Okay. सगळे झालेले आपले, मला का नाही आठवते. Okay, fine. So, yeah. मला का आठवत नाही मी घेतलेले असे. ठीक आहे, सगळे MCQ झालेले आहेत. If you have done with this part, so as I have told you, पेपर डिस्कस करायची गरज नाही असं मला सांगितलं, because सोपा होता अल्कली मेटल्स, अल्कलाइन अर्थ मेटल्सचा. No need to discuss the paper.
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So आज ना एकदम मी छोटासा लेसन घेणार आहे. मी आज तुम्हाला खूप बोर करत नाहीये. The lesson is too easy. एक्चुअली ये सिखाने की भी जरूरत नहीं है अकॉर्डिंग टू मी. लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द बेसिक एनालिटिकल टेक्निक्स. लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द बेसिक एनालिटिकल टेक्निक्स. एकदम छोटा लेसन है, सो we can आराम से कंप्लीट. अभी थोड़े से वो लेसन, वो जो केमिस्ट्री इन एवरीडे, दैट विल कंप्लीट फास्टर, सो दैट देन विल गो टू द. आज बऱ्यापैकी मुलं नाही आहेत, सो मी जरा आज न्यूमेरिकल्सचे लेसन्स नाही घेते. सो न्यूमेरिकल्स के लेसन्स के लिए everyone should be present at that time. So shall we start with the basic analytical techniques? Hello everyone.
Yes.
So आता basic analytical technique, I don't know analytical, as I've told you na, basic chemistry is the study of chemicals, no doubt, and the chemicals are used in all areas from food to the industry, agriculture, pharmaceuticals, like petroleum industry. So everywhere the chemicals are used, some natural, some synthetic. So when I'm talking about the chemistry, the broader way chemistry, I can divide into 4 components. Like the 4 compartments of the chemistry will be physical chemistry, inorganic chemistry, organic chemistry, and analytical chemistry. So when I said about the physical chemistry, what is the meaning of the physics involved? Like, you know, where we are going to deal with the rate of the chemical reaction, where we are going to deal with the thermodynamics of the chemical reaction, where we are going to deal with the chemical kinetics of the reaction. So that physical aspect, the like how much moles are coming in the picture. So whenever we are talking about that qualitative measure, it's a physical chemistry. Inorganic chemistry is that branch of chemistry which deals with all the elements except carbon, predominantly all transition metals, alkali metals, their study, their compound study, the metallurgy, the extraction, all that part comes in inorganic chemistry. Organic chemistry is the branch of chemistry which only deals with the carbon and its compound, because the carbon is the one which is present in all forms of life. And the last part of chemistry, which is an analytical chemistry, I think my ICSE student Kanika, Yash, we have done last year a lesson called as analytical chemistry. Do you remember? Do you remember? Kanika, Yash? So can you explain me what is analytical chemistry? So so like मुझे physical chemistry समझ में थोड़ा like आया, inorganic में क्या है वो समझ में आया, organic में समझ. So when I said what comes in your mind? What do you think? What we are doing in this branch of chemistry? See, we are going to do basically the laboratory work. So analytical chemistry is a branch of chemistry, is mainly dealing with the qualitative analysis, not the quantitative like physical chemistry. Means when I said the qualitative chemistry, so where I'm going to find out, like they will give you, like आपके जब colleges start होंगे, so in the basic chemistry lessons, either you will do the neutralization reaction to find out the normality of acid and base, and the second part of the chemical reactions or the chemical experiments which we will perform is to find out the respective cation in the given salt. So ते तुम्हाला एक salt देणार, कुठलाही म्हणजे like सोडियम क्लोराइड असेल किंवा कुठलाही सॉल्ट असेल, कॅल्शियम कार्बोनेट असेल, कॉपर सल्फेट असेल, फेरस सल्फेट असेल. So on that salt you have to carry forward some test to find out exactly त्या मला माहिती नाही आहे, I have to identify whether if they give you copper sulfate, that means you have to identify which metal cation is present in that and which anion is present in that. So that is called as analytical chemistry, which has been mainly done in the laboratory, where we are using certain techniques for identification of the radical. It's just not identification of the radical, it is also used for the separation techniques. Separation techniques which you have done in your school level, where we have seen in CBSE the separation techniques. Do you remember 9th standard la Tanvi Ishan आपण केलेलं होतं, whether we are using in that like how we can do the crystallization, simple distillation, fractional distillation, centrifugation. So these are some techniques which are done for the separation. So basic analytical techniques मध्ये तेच आहे. The principle behind that technique and what exactly we have carried out this part, easy lesson है. So I suppose मी जे बोलते थे तुम्हाला कळतंय? कनिका, तन्वी, यश, ईशान. Hello.
Yes,
So in what we have done in 10th standard, कनिका, आता हा ओमकार आता येतोय. So what we have done in 10th standard, Kanika, we have used sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide as a reagent to separate where we get the particular cation का precipitate from that Fe2 plus होगा तो वो dirty green color होगा, Fe3 plus होगा तो reddish brown color होगा from of the precipitate of that ferric hydroxide, ferrous hydroxide, and from that we'll get to know कि like कौन सा उसमें cation present है. Now in the same this basic analytical techniques, it's not इतकं detailing मध्ये पण नाही, simple techniques आहेत आपल्याला. So if you look at, if you have, do you have the book in front of you, everyone? Tanvi, Yash, Ishan?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, ma'am.
Have the textbook in front of you. You will understand what am I saying. So the need बघितलात ना तर यामध्ये ना मला त्यांनी फर्स्ट दिलेला आहे प्युरिफिकेशन ऑफ सॉलिड करायचं. प्युरिफिकेशन ऑफ सॉलिडला आधी त्यांनी त्याच्यामध्ये दिलेलं आहे की कसं फिल्ट्रेशन करून, इफ इट्स अन हेट्रोजनस मिक्सचर, जस्ट बाय सिंपल फिल्ट्रेशन आपण कसं करू शकतो. हॅलो ओमकार, आज लेट झाला तुला? ओमकार, okay, so first is the filtration, then we have to do the second one, which is crystallization, then the fractional crystallization, simple distillation, and the fractional distillation, solvent extraction. You don't have chromatography this year, done with the lesson. खूप सोपं आहे, simple techniques learn करायचे आहेत, which involves filtration, crystallization, fractional crystallization, simple distillation, fractional distillation techniques, and the solvent extraction done. So how do you find this lesson? खूप easy वाटतोय बघून, pages बघितल्यावर. इतकाच lesson आहे. वरुण, यश, ईशान, तन्वी, कनिका, ओमकार. Omkar, can you hear me? Everyone? So let's quickly begin. Let's quickly begin with the part. Ata, I'll read the introduction part. So there has been a systematic development in the techniques used for the analysis of the chemical substances. In this chapter, we are going to look into the basic analytical techniques, namely the purification and separation techniques. Chemical substances occur in nature in impure stage. Also, when synthesized in the laboratory, they are obtained in crude and impure form. So before investigating their composition and properties, it is essential to them in the pure form. So methods of purification and the separation of the compounds depend on the difference in their physical properties. So the basic principle which we used in the basic analytical technique is we are using their differences in the physical property. So when I said the difference in physical property, what I mean to say you, we can say its density. आपण last year metallurgy मध्ये केलेलं होतं की how by the gravity separation we can separate the gangs particle. So for the separation technique, we can see the principle of difference in the density. We can see the difference of also you can see you can find out the difference in their melting point, basically boiling point difference, the volatile liquid, the less volatile liquid. So all these physical differences technique, not the chemical differences. We are seeing the physical differences. When I said the physical differences, I mean to say by the state difference or the density difference or the difference in the melting point, boiling point. So with the help of this physical property differences, we are going to separate them or we are going to purify them. The simple lesson. So purification of solids made mala diagram. Let's look at the diagram, which is figure 3.1. Separation of the mixture of water and the sand. So many, like what we are doing, separation of the mixture of water and sand. So if you want to separate that sand from the water, simple do the filtration because it's in suspension. So definitely that sand which is having the you can say the particle size is more, you can aram say filter it on the filter paper and it's been residue. That residue, just evaporate it, just heat it, the water will get removed and you will get that solid residue. Easy. So me here read karu sagla. You want me to read this paragraph? Garaz ahe? Or you just do one thing, you read on your own, the paragraph. A solid substance may contain two types of impurity. The one is karte. Okay. गरज नसेल तर मी करत नाही, हा पार्ट इझी आहे. कनिका, ईशान, तन्वी, यश करतोय का? Hello everyone, say something. खूप part easy है. So if you are finding it आहे, सो मी आज इझी लेसन जर कळत असेल तर आय विल प्रोसीड इन दॅट केस, बट से समथिंग यश. सो मुझे पहला प्यूरिफिकेशन समझ में आया जिसमें मैं सिंपल अगर वो जो सल्यूट है, इफ इट्स इनसोल्यूबल, if it's a suspension, simply by the filtration we can get separate that residue. So the one which is obtaining on the filter paper is called as a residue, and the one which is there in the filtrate is called as a simple filtrate. Now if you can do this filtration by suction method, so if you look at the figures 3.2, from the figure you will get to know. So what am I doing? It's a suspension only, but the size of the particles are so small that large in the solid cannot fit through the tiny poles of the filter paper, so they remain here. So मी काय केलेलं, this is a Bachner funnel. त्या Bachner funnel मध्ये basically let's read it systematically. So let me read this. So filtration मी खालून suction pump लावून ना त्यांना त्या filtrate ला खाली काढलेलं. So what am I doing? I'm just या 3.1 मध्ये मी ते simple physical method नी separate केलं, पण efficiently I'm using a suction pump to separate that filtrate from that suspension. So filtration under suspension. So when the filtration is carried out using a vacuum pump is called as a filtration under suction. It is faster and more efficient technique than the simple filtration, but obvious because you are using a suction pump. The assembly for the filtration under the suction consists of a thick wall conical flask. Thick wall conical flask which is called as a Bachner funnel with a side arm, like side एक खाली flask है with a side arm. The flask is connected to the safety bottle by a rubber tube through a side arm. The safety bottle is used to prevent the sucking of the filtrate into the suction pump. A special porcelain funnel called as a Bachner funnel is fitted on the conical flask with the help of a rubber cork as shown in the figure. So खाली एक flask है, त्या फ्लास्कला एक यू कॅन से एक there is you can say एक साइड आर्म आहे, आणि त्या साइड आर्मला ना मी एक रबर ट्युबिंग केलंय, आणि त्या रबर ट्युबिंग मधनं मी एक सक्शन क्रिएट करून त्यातनं लाईक, कारण डिरेक्टली मी सक्शन केलं तर ते त्या ग्लास बॉटलवर प्रेशर न यायला, थ्रू द रबर पंप आय एम युझिंग द सक्शन टू रिमूव्ह इट. सो and the upper side there is a funnel which is a Bachner funnel, ज्याला the Bachner funnel has a porous circular bottom. If you look at the difference, it has got a porous circular bottom. A circular filter paper of the correct size is placed on that bottom. एक moistened filter paper मी टाकलेला आहे, okay, त्या bottom वर. It has been moistened with a few drops of water or solvent. Suction is created by starting the pump and the filtration is carried out. The crystals are collected on the filter paper and the filtrate in the fast. Okay, so काय आहे यामध्ये फक्त okay, yeah, no problem Omkar, okay, ठीक आहे. So yeah, it's a simple method, only the difference in figure 3.1 and 3.2. In the 3.2 it is more effective because I'm using an external suction pressure to remove that liquid from that residue to separate the filtrate and the residue separately. It's a more efficient method. Quickly, easy. Are you understanding this part? Kartoy ha part? So shall I proceed? Simple. So in my first page, I have seen the technique, which is a separation method. Now let's see the second method. So याच्यामध्ये मी separation method केलं. Now let's see now the purification, the crystallization method. So मी पहिल्या केस मध्ये I have done separation by using the filtration method, simple suspension solution ला. आता मी crystallization करते. So when the crude solid is made of mainly one substance which has got impurity, it has been purified by the process of crystallization. आता मला crystallization करायचं आहे, तर मला 4 steps लागतात. First, preparation of saturated solution. So what is a saturated solution? See, the saturated solution, the solution is a true solution. It's a homogeneous mixture when it's like a salt in water, sugar in water, where the solutes are completely soluble in that solvent, such a way that the size of the particle is less than 1 nanometer. So they are completely soluble. We cannot see that. So त्यामध्ये that is called as, आता ते solution झालं. Now what is meaning of unsaturated? When it is a dilute solution, and if you that solute, it becomes a solution that if you add more solute, not going to get dissolved in it. So that concentrated solution, that concentrated calling as a saturated solution. So मला फर्स्ट सेपरेशन टेक्निक कळलं, ज्याच्यामध्ये मी सिंपल फिल्ट्रेशन केलं. आता दुसरी मी अनालिटिकल टेक्निक बघते, ज्यामध्ये मी त्या सल्यूटचं क्रिस्टलायझेशन करते. आय वॉन्ट टू सेपरेट इट आउट फ्रॉम द इम्प्युरिटीज. So first of all, I'm preparing a saturated solution. So simple logic. What is saturated solution? Where you are adding that much of solute in that solvent that no further solute can be added to it. That is a saturated solution. So for the crystallization, the step number 1 is the preparation of the saturated solution. So what is a saturated solution? Where solute can be added. So the saturated solution of a crude solid is prepared by boiling it in small or efficient quantity of a suitable solvent. On doing so, main soluble forms are almost saturated in the solution, but the solution is not saturated with respect to the soluble impurities. So थोडक्यात मी सॅच्युरेटेड केलेलं आहे, but still some impurities are also present. ते सुद्धा dissolved झालेले आहेत. So it is the saturated solution which with some minor impurities present. Now second it, after making that saturated solution for the crystallization method, hot filtration. So the above saturated solution is quickly filtered when hot. मी hot असताना त्यांना filter केलं. The filtration under suction allows rapid filtration. The undissolved impurities may get removed. So मी करताना कदाचित काही जे gangs असतील, काही impurities असतील which are not soluble, they can be separated by that suction method. After that, what am I doing? परत अजून सगळ्या impurities remove नाही झाल्यात. So the third part, after doing the hot filtration, when that solution is hot, the cooling of the filtrate. The hot filtrate is allowed to cool. The solubility of the substances decreases. So it's like a super saturated solution. मी ते hot असताना त्याच्यात अजून solute add केलाय. So this is such a super saturated solution. When you will cool it, whatever its solubility decreases because the temperature increases the solubility. So when the temperature comes to the normal temperature, the solubility decreases. So some of the parts of that solute will crystallize out. So the solubility with the lowering temperature decreases. As a result, the filtrate becomes supersaturated with respect to main dissolved solute. The excess quantity of dissolved solute comes out in the form of crystal. The dissolved impurities, however, do not supersaturate the solution as their quantities are small. To stay in the solution in the dissolved state even on cooling, the separated crystals are therefore free from the soluble impurities as well. The last part is filtration. The crystals of the pure substances are separated by filtration. The filtrate is called as a mother liquor, and the crystals so formed are free from the soluble and the insoluble impurities. साध्या सोप्या शब्दामध्ये मी सांगते, in the second method, in the analytical techniques, crystallization, it has been meant to separate the pure components from the impurity. So what we are doing, the pure substance along with the minor impurities, we make a saturated solution. Then some of the impurities, if they are in solid state, which are in not soluble form, we can do like by the suction, we can do it by the filtration, suction filtration. They will be coming on the filter paper, discard them. Then when they are in hot, then that will change to supersaturated solution. And some of this, त्याच्यामध्ये काय त्या supersaturated solution मध्ये त्या सल्यूटच्या क्रिस्टल्स बनतील आणि मायन्यूट डिझॉल्व्ड इम्प्युरिटीज आहेत. पण फक्त क्रिस्टलायझेशन कुणाचं होणार? त्या प्युअर क्रिस्टल्स, जे प्युअर सॉल्ट आहे जे डिझॉल्व्ड आहे त्याचं क्रिस्टलायझेशन होणार, बिकॉज दॅट इज इन लार्ज क्वांटिटी. आणि जो इम्प्युरिटी आहे त्या स्मॉलर क्वांटिटीज आहेत त्या क्रिस्टलाइज आउट होणार नाही. सो द कम्प्लीट क्रिस्टलायझेशन टेक्स प्लेस ऑन कुलिंग. Further cooling करणार less than the normal temperature. So whatever the salt which is present in that pure salt will get crystallized out, and the that impurities will just remain in the solution. And this is the way we can separate the pure salt from the impurities by the crystallization method. आता या मेथड मध्ये मी जो solvent use करते, the solvent which has been used to dissolve that solvent, you can say there are some properties which should be exhibited by that solvent. So what are the choice of the solvent? So typical theory questions. So what should be the choice of the solvent in this crystallization technique? The solvent used in the crystallization must have the following property. First, the compound to be crystallized should be at least or sparingly soluble. So first condition, जो भी compound, जो भी कुछ salt को मैं separate करने वाली हूँ, crystallize करने वाली हूँ, it should be soluble in that solvent at the room temperature, and it should be highly soluble at the higher temperature. Because I think you all have done solubility. Water आपने सबने स्कूल में किया होगा, and that you all know कि most of the salts, their solubility increases with the increase in temperature. Potassium nitrate, sodium nitrate. Sodium chloride, the solubility is almost constant at any temperature. But there are some salt like calcium sulfate where their solubility increases with increase in temperature. So depending upon when you are doing this method of the crystallization, you have to make sure about its properties of the salt or the compound which you are crystallizing out. So the first property in choice of the solvent, you have to choose the solvent such a way that you can say the solute should be soluble and its solubility should increase with the increase in temperature. Second part, it should only form a solution. It should only undergo a physical change where that salt is changing from solid to liquid. It should not undergo a chemical change. So the solvent should not chemically react with that compound which has been purified. And the third, the solvent should be volatile, so you can remove it. So the three properties or the three, you can say that should be shown by the solvent in the method of the crystallization. First, whatever the solutes you are taking, that should be solute that solvent. Secondly, the solubility of that solvent increases with the temperature. That solvent should not chemically react with that solute. Thirdly, that solvent should be volatile, that so that it can be easily removed. So what are the examples of the excellent solvent? Water, ethyl alcohol, methyl alcohol, acetone, ether, or their combinations are generally used as a solvent for crystallization. The choice is done by the trial and error method. So याच्यामध्ये it's not a completely 100% pure, but maximum simple cost cutting way, cost effective way मध्ये मी crystallization करू शकते. Now they have shown you the activity to explain you this part. So the activity मध्ये त्यांनी तुम्हाला दाखवलेलं आहे, you have taken sodium chloride dissolved in water. Now the impure, आता त्याच्यासाठी त्यांनी sodium chloride, pure sodium chloride घेतलेले. They have taken table salt or some impure salt where that sodium chloride is having some impurities of magnesium chloride, potassium chloride, and then we are using this crystallization method. So my main motive is to separate that sodium chloride from the other impurities of magnesium chloride. So what am I doing? Dissolving in water, heating it, making a saturated solution. So if there is an insoluble impurities are there, I can separate out by the you can say suction filtration method. And during hot and on cooling, that supersaturated solution is going to form the crystals of only sodium chloride, not the magnesium chloride, because it's in minute quantities. And after the crystals of sodium chloride are removed, then the you can say that separation has been done, and whatever the filtrate is there, it's just the water with the minute quantities of that impurities. I hope you are understanding. So आपण analytical technique मध्ये पहिलं simple filtration बघितलं, ज्यामध्ये मी filtration, suction filtration मी suspension म्हणजे where the size of the solute is and catch it in that filter paper, which is suspension. like त्याला मी separate करू शकते, त्याला मी basically separation करताना मी जे suspension आहे त्याला filtration method मी separate केलं. But for solution, when the size of the particle is too small, they can आराम से pass through the filter paper. So that salt solution will be आराम से pass through the filter paper. So I cannot use this technique of filtration for the solution where the size of the particle is less than 1 nanometer. So in that case, in the analytical technique of separating that solute from the solvent, I cannot use filtration technique. So we use the technique of crystallization, where we are first making it a saturated solution, supersaturated solution, and then by the crystallization, all the pure salt will get crystallized out, and whatever the filtrate will be remain, which is called as a mother liquor. And then we have seen the properties of the solvent to be used for that crystallization method. And then we have seen an activity following all this step. Done? Is it done? Understood by everyone? Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Omkar, Tanvi, Ishan, कळतंय? आता आपण दोन कंडिशन बघितल्या. पहिल्यांदा आपण सेपरेट केलं सस्पेन्शनला, मग आपण सोल्युशनला केलं. आता आपण फ्रॅक्शनल क्रिस्टलायझेशन करतो आहोत. जेव्हा ना हे जे क्वांटिटीज आहेत ना, लाईक व्हॉट एव्हर द सोल्युबल पार्टिकल्स आहेत ना, ते 2-3 टाइप्स ऑफ सोल्युबल पार्टिकल्स इफेक्टिव्हली लाईक जास्त नंबर मध्ये आहेत. लाईक क्रिस्टलायझेशन मध्ये जे इम्प्युरिटी आहे ना, दॅट इज इन स्मॉलर क्वांटिटीज, दॅट इज इन मायनर क्वांटिटीज. So that impurity being in a minor quantities, just by crystallization method, we can separate it. But if the impurities or if the other things are in major quantities, if the 2-3 like sodium chloride भी है, उतना ही potassium chloride भी है, और मुझे दोनों को अगर separate करना है, then we have to apply the crystallization. Okay, so fractional crystallization, 2 or more substances in a mixture can be separated by fractional crystallization. Fractional crystallization is a process wherein 2 or more soluble substances having widely different solubilities in the same solvent. So their quantity is more, but there is a slight difference in their solubility. Out of the two, you can see the solutes which are dissolved in the solution, which are in major quantities. दोघांचाही amount जास्त आहे. But if you talking about its solubility, the one has got higher solubility in that solvent, and the other salt is having the lesser solubility in that solvent. And at that principle, when we are using the principle of difference in their solubility during the fractional crystallization. So it is a process. Fractional crystallization is a process when 2 or more soluble substances having widely different the same solvent at room temperature are separated by crystallization. Mixture of two solutes, A and B, are dissolved in suitable hot solvent to prepare a saturated solution. The saturated solution is filtered to remove the dust particles. So pehle jo impurities are dust particles they have which I have separated by the suction filtration, so that the saturated solution is filtered to remove the dust particles and then allowed to cool. As the solution cools, the solute which is less soluble crystallizes out first. So उसमें जो less soluble होगा वो पहले crystallize out होगा, and then what I'll do the separation of the crystals. मग मी ते crystals सगळे filter केले, मग ते मी एक केला separate केल्यावर तो जो separate केलेला आहे जो crystal त्याला मी filter केला, wash with the solvent and then dry it. The whatever the mother liquor or the filtrate which you are heat केला, so whatever the water which has get removed or that solvent get removed, or जो second salt है, it will get crystallized, and the second solute will get crystallized from the mother liquor. These crystals are filtered to obtain the separated and purified the second component. Okay, I'll make it easy. So the fractional crystallization, the basic principle is going hand in hand with crystallization. फरक काय आहे crystallization and fractional crystallization मध्ये? क्रिस्टलायझेशन मध्ये एकच कंपोनंट मॅक्झिमम क्वांटिटी मध्ये त्या सॉल्व्हंट मध्ये सोल्युबल असतो. ज्या काही इम्प्युरिटीज असतात त्या खूप मायन्यूट असतात, त्या इतक्या कन्सिडर करण्यासारख्या नसतात. एक तर त्या मेनली तुम्ही यू कॅन सेपरेट इट आउट इन द बेसिकली दॅट सक्शन फिल्ट्रेशन मेथडनी तुम्ही सेपरेट करू शकतात. आणि जो तो आहे तो जो सॉल्व्हंट आहे जो त्या सोल्यूट मध्ये कम्प्लिटली डिझॉल्व्ह होऊन सोल्युशन केलेला आहे, त्याला मी सुपर सॅच्युरेटेड सोल्युशन करून कूल केलं ना की त्या सोल्यूटचे crystals and I can separate it out. Now in fractional crystallization is the same method, only the difference in the first crystallization and the fractional crystallization. Crystallization मध्ये एकच solute completely soluble होता. या केस मध्ये दोन solutes soluble आहेत. They are forming the solution. Now जेव्हा दोन solutes त्या solution मध्ये soluble असतात आणि तुम्हाला ते सेपरेट करायचे असतात, दोघांनाही सेपरेट करायचं असतं, तेव्हा मी काय करते तर तेव्हा फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ते जे डस्ट पार्टिकल्स आहेत ते सक्शन फिल्ट्रेशन सेपरेट होतील. मग यू कॅन मेक अ सुपर सॅच्युरेटेड सोल्युशन. त्या दोन सोल्यूट मधला एका सोल्यूटची सोल्युबिलिटी इन दॅट सॉल्व्हंट इज लेस, एका सोल्यूटची सोल्युबिलिटी इन दॅट सॉल्व्हंट इज मोर. द सोल्यूट whose solubility is less, on cooling that supersaturated solution, that solute will first crystallize out. दूसरा जो आहे ज्याची solubility high in that solution तो crystallize नाही होणार आहे. ज्याची solute solubility कमी आहे तो पहिल्यांदा crystallize होणार आहे. I'll separate all the crystals I'll add more of that solute आणि त्याला मी त्या सोल्यूटला सगळं हीट केलं, ड्राय केलं की ते मला सेपरेट मिळणार क्रिस्टल्स. आता जो दुसरा सोल्यूट आहे ना, जो अजूनही त्या सोल्युशन मध्ये आहे, त्याला मी त्या सोल्युशनला I'll heat it. So again that solute will also crystallize out and you can separate them. So the fractional crystallization is the method which is applied to the solution where that solute is in solution form and there are more than one, there are two solutes or even three solutes which are in the solution form, and using the difference in their solubility we are separating out by the simple crystallization method. सेम आहे, फक्त इथे एकच होता, इथे दोन किंवा तीन असू शकतात. इज इट क्लिअर? इज इट क्लिअर विथ यू? हेलो एवरीवन, आर यू अंडरस्टँडिंग व्हाट आई एम सेइंग?
Yes, ma'am.
सो शॅल वी लेट्स इझी अ लेसन. सो आपण आतापर्यंत तीन टेक्निक्स बघितल्या. We have seen simple suspension ना सेपरेट करायची फिल्ट्रेशन टेक्निक बघितली. Then we have seen the solution को solution सेपरेट करने की टेक्निक देखी. एक सॉल्ट होगा तो भी क्रिस्टलाइजेशन टेक्निक देखी. What we have seen, what are the choice of the solute हमने देखा. If there is more than one salt again in the solution form, then how by the fractional crystallization we can separate, that we have seen. So till now we have seen the separation technique of mixture where solid in liquid is involved. So we have seen the separation technique where solid in liquid and we are separating that solid from that liquid either by the filtration method or by the crystallization method or by the fractional crystallization method. Now we are looking at the separation technique where liquid in liquid mixture is involved. It is liquid in liquid mixture. So when there is a liquid in liquid mixture, the possibility that either the two liquids are completely miscible in each other like alcohol in water, or the condition they are immiscible where like oil in water, where the less density or the less density you can say that liquid will come on the top and the more density liquid will be at the bottom. So if you change me directly adi immiscible dakhota and then we'll go to the miscible. If you turn the page and come to the page number 31, I'm explaining you the solvent extraction. So pehle zyada easier wala karenge, like the same one. We are talking about the separation technique where the two immiscible liquids are involved. So where I'm separating them by solvent extraction. Take any liquid, like take water or any organic liquid. You can take water, or alcohol is a miscible one, so you cannot take alcohol, but you can take water and oil or water or any other thing. So काय केलेलं आहे, when an organic substance is present in the aqueous solution, it can be extracted from that solution by shaking it with an organic solvent in which the substance is more soluble. So what we are doing, the organic liquid should be immiscible with water and will able to form two layers. आता जी वरची लेयर आहे, ती जी सॉल्वंट लेयर आहे, the organic compound in the aqueous layer and the organic compound in solvent layer. मी काय करणार, always तो जो वरती असेल ना सेपरेट आहे, I'll just use that simple. What I'll use the method, मी काय करणार त्यांना separate out करणार just by simple because I can see that difference in the layer. Okay, in this process the solute distributes itself between, तो जो solute आहे एक तर तो water soluble solute असू शकतो किंवा soluble असू शकतो. पहिला दिलेला आहे, it is before extraction where it is a solvent layer आणि खाली organic compound in the aqueous layer आणि मग खाली pure aqueous layer आहे आणि वरती organic compound has been dissolved in that organic layer. So extraction of the compound takes place on the basis of the difference in their solubility either in two liquids. Some will be in water soluble, some will be in the organic liquid soluble. So shaking for 2 times with a small volume in the organic phase, most of the solutes gets extracted in the organic phase. The organic solvent is removed by distillation and the solute is collected. The solvent extraction process is very helpful in cleaning the separation in the short time span. So what is the advantage? Short time span मध्ये मी separation करू शकते. If the solute is less soluble in organic phase, then the technique called as a continuous extraction is used, where the some amount of organic solvent is used repeatedly for the extraction. This technique continuous distillation of the solvent within the same assembly. So simple है, मी टू इमिसिबल लिक्विड्स ना मी त्या सॉलिड जो सोल्यूट आहे जो ऑर्गॅनिक सॉल्व्हंट मध्ये डिझॉल्व्ह झालेला आहे त्यांना टू इमिसिबल लिक्विड्सनी सेपरेटिंग फनल आय एम युझिंग द सेपरेटिंग फनल इट फॉर्म्स अ टू लेअर सिम्पली आय एम सेपरेटिंग इट. जर तो सोल्यूट जो असेल त्याचं सोल्युबिलिटी कमी असेल त्या सॉल्व्हंट मध्ये तर मला ती प्रोसेस मॅक्झिमम टाइम करायला लागते टू सेपरेट देम. समजतंय? नाव जस्ट 5 minutes सो दॅट ऑनेस्ट आपला हा ऍक्च्युअली लेसन शिकवू का 5 मिनिटं आपला लेसन ऑलमोस्ट कम्प्लीट होऊन जाईल. Only remaining part is simple distillation and fractional distillation, which we have already done in school level. So can I take your 5 minutes more? So आता ना आपण या analytical chemistry मध्ये techniques बघितल्या filtration, which is for suspension. We have seen for solution, solid crystallization, fractional crystallization. Then when we are talking about liquid in liquid, if there are two immiscible liquids, I can use the solvent extraction by the separating funnel. I can aram se separate it. But now the condition is like that. The two liquids are completely miscible in each other. For example, alcohol in water. So what am I going to do? I am going to use the simple distillation technique. So simple distillation मध्ये तुम्हाला त्या diagram वरनच कळेल. If you look at this, त्या डायग्राम मध्ये यू विल सी एक डिस्टिलेशन फ्लास्क मध्ये वरती थर्मोमीटर आहे. देन देयर इज अ वॉटर आउटलेट, एक कंडेन्सर आहे आणि वॉटर इनलेट. मी काय करते, फॉर एक्झाम्पल मी वॉटर आणि ऍसिटोन घेतलं. लेट्स टेक एन एक्झाम्पल ऑफ अ वॉटर अँड ऍसिटोन. ते दोन्ही एकमेकां और वॉटर और अल्कोहॉल. सो जेव्हा ना दोन्ही लिक्विड्सचा बॉइलिंग पॉइंट डिफरन्स इज मोर दॅन 25. कारण अल्कोहॉलचा बॉइलिंग पॉइंट इज रफली 40-50 डिग्री सेल्सिअस आणि वॉटरचा बॉइलिंग पॉइंट इज 100 डिग्री सेल्सिअस. असं वर्क असाइन केलेलं आहे की वी हॅव टू सेपरेट दॅट अल्कोहॉल अँड वॉटर. So what am I using? I'm using the simple distillation because the difference in their respective boiling point of the two liquids is more than 25 degrees Celsius. So थोडक्यामध्ये alcohol is a volatile liquid and as compared to alcohol, water is little non-volatile liquid. So what am I doing? मी खालून त्या miscible mixtureला, that completely miscible mixtureला मला separate करायचं. मी हीट केलं. हीट केल्यावर मी थर्मोमीटरचं रीडिंग का बघते, बिकॉज आय नो द बॉइलिंग पॉइंट ऑफ द टू प्युअर लिक्विड सेपरेटली. So my main concern out of the two liquids which are completely miscible, the one which is volatile, say about its boiling point is at 50 degrees Celsius. So when the temperature reading goes to thermometer reading goes to the 50 degrees Celsius, out of the two liquids, the one which is more volatile will go ते बॉइल होईल and it will come out of the solution in the form of a vapor. आणि ते वेपर झाले की त्या दॅट 50 डिग्री सेल्सिअस मला ते टेम्परेचर थर्मोमीटरचं मेंटेन करायचंय. सो जोपर्यंत त्या कम्प्लिटली वोलाटाइल लिक्विडचे वेपर्स होत नाहीत तोपर्यंत देन यू नो दूसरा जो है ना इट जस्ट रिमेन इन द सोल्यूशन. वाटर को 50 पे कुछ भी नहीं होने वाला है. इट इज गोइंग टू रिमेन इन वाटर फॉर्म ओनली. सो द वेपर्स आई विल कलेक्ट इट फ्रॉम दैट वाटर and there is a water inlet and outlet, and to that inlet and outlet whatever the vapors which are coming, I'm going to condense that vapor, and because of that cold water inlet and outlet, so the surrounding temperature suddenly decreases. So the vapors which are having their temperature more than their boiling suddenly cools, and because of the cooling it condenses to form a liquid, and that I'm collecting in that conical flask. So त्या टेम्परेचरला त्याच्यातला जो वोलाटाइल लिक्विड आहे तो कम्प्लिटली सेपरेट आउट होतो, तो सेपरेट होतो, आणि नंतर जो दुसरा उरेल फ्लास्क मध्ये इट इज द लिक्विड विच इज you can say less volatile, it will just remain in the solution. So which I'm using the same principle of difference in the boiling point of for miscible liquids. When there are two miscible liquids, to separate them, I'm making the use of their difference in boiling point. So in the difference in boiling point, I'm using separate that distillation flask. The more volatile one will separate first, and the less volatile one will come in that distillation plant simply. I hope it is clear with you. Easy hai? Is it easy? समजतंय? कनिका, ओमकार, यश, ईशान. सो त्यांनी ऍक्टिव्हिटी दिलेली आहे टू सेपरेट ऍसिटोन आणि वॉटर आपल्या बुक मध्ये पेज नंबर 29 वर, वेयर द डिफरेंस इन बॉइलिंग पॉइंट इज 56 एंड 100. सो इट्स ऑलमोस्ट 44 का डिफरेंस है. तो आराम से मैं सिंपल डिस्टिलेशन से उसको सेपरेट कर सकती हूँ. लास्ट पार्ट आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू टेक मिनट्स. नाउ let's talk about the fractional distillation. So we fraction, just like a fractional crystallization, same methodology. A fractional crystallization we have done to separate solid from liquid. Now fractional distillation we are going to use for liquid and liquid, for when both are volatile liquids, rather they have their boiling point less than 25 degrees Celsius. We cannot use this technique of simple distillation because both are going to intermix in the vapor form. So to separate them, separately, I have to use the fractional distillation. So if the mixture, if in the mixture, the difference in the boiling point of the two liquids is not appreciable, they cannot be separated from each other using simple distillation assembly. So to separate such liquids, the process called as fractional distillation is employed with the special assembly is used in the figure. So तुम्ही जर सगळं बघितलं ना, फक्त there is a fractionating column. There is a fractionating column. So that either that fractionating column is a simple pack column or it is bubble plate column. So either of the any one is being used. So in this assembly, the distillation flask is fitted with the fractionating column. Hence, the vapors first pass through the fractionating column. The vapors of more volatile liquid with the lower boiling point rise up more than the vapors of the liquid having higher boiling point. So the fractionating column मुळे काय होतं, तर मी एक separation करते. Boil करताना दोन्ही आले, but the one which is having less boiling point, more volatile, will go farther, and the one which is less volatile तो खाली राहील. So vapors of more volatile liquid with the lower boiling point rise up more than the vapors of the liquid having higher boiling point. Suppose we have a mixture of two liquids A and B having boiling point 363 and 373, only 10 degrees Celsius. A is more volatile because it's 363 and B is less volatile. As the mixture is heated, vapors of A along with the little of B will rise up and comes into contact with the large surface of the fractionating column. Vapors of B will condense rapidly into the distillation flask. Since A ऊपर गया और ये fractionating column में ऊपर जाने से, like that B will again go down. It will come down while vapors of B will you can say condense rapidly. So तो A volatile असल्यामुळे लवकर वरती गेला आणि B वरती गेला, पण temperature परत कमी झालं, so तो परत खाली पडला. Condense झाला and it will go in the liquid form. While passing through the fractionating column, there is exchange between the ascending vapors and the descending. So ascending जा रहे वो vapors जा रहे, descending जा रहे वो condense होके liquid form में आ रहे. The vapors of B are scrubbed up by the descending liquid. This makes the vapor richer. Process is repeated every time. Each time the vapors and the liquid come in contact with the surface. So this time, while the fractionating column कडे जाताना दोघही vapor form मध्ये, पण जो more volatile आहे, while passing through that vapor, that fractionating column, it will remain in the vapor form only, but the one which is less volatile will condense down immediately and it will condense to liquid immediately, that turns into liquid, fall down. Okay, so rising vapors will become richer in A and escape through the fractionating column and reach the condenser, while the liquid in the distillation flask is richer in B. The separated components are purified by repeating the process. For example, for the simple distillation, we have used the mixture acetone and water. For this, we can use the mixture of acetone and methyl alcohol, where 329, 337, or acetone and benzene can be separated by fractional distillation. This process is used in the petrol. तुम्ही school level ला केलेला असेल. Crude oil, petroleum to separate kerosene, diesel, petrol, different gases. This fractional crystallization is being used because at the different temperature, the different liquids which are present in the petroleum crude oil are being separated. So petroleum industry, they are being used to separate the different fractions of crude oil. Now this distillation under reduced pressure, because I know the pressure reduced केला. So liquids have very high melting point and boiling point, and which decompose on heating, are purified by carrying out the distillation under reduced pressure. So the reduced pressure is been used for very high boiling point liquids, where those which decompose on heating. So जे liquids खूप volatile आहेत किंवा जे liquids खूप जास्त त्यांचा boiling point आहे, मी काय करू शकते त्यांना separate करायला. इथे आधीच्या ठिकाणी simple distillation आणि मध्ये it is at atmospheric pressure. we are carrying out the separation at the atmospheric pressure. But if the condition is like that, might be some liquids are having very high boiling point, or they are very volatile, they decompose, they are very volatile, they decompose, they undergo chemical change on heating. So I don't want to undergo the chemical change of that liquid, rather I want to separate them, I have to carry out the physical change. So for such a liquids, for the separation, this is the same setup, only you carry out this at normal, at not that normal atmospheric pressure, you have to reduce the pressure of the assembly. So to separate the liquids which decompose, which undergo chemical change on heating, they are being separated, purified by carrying out the distillation under reduced pressure. In this method, the liquid is made to boil at the temperature which is below its normal boiling point by reducing the pressure of the surface of the liquid. The pressure is reduced pump or a vacuum pump. In soap, याचं significance कुठे आहे? In soap industry, glycerol is separated from soap by using this technique. So it has been specially employed for those liquids which decompose on heating or which are having very high boiling point. So the same assembly is carried out at the less pressure. So less pressure कसं करणार? मी vacuum pump मधनं त्या assemblyचं pressure कमी केलं, तर what will happen? At the low, they will boil at a temperature normal than, see I know na ki me the pressure kami kela, the boiling point reduces. So that's why at the higher altitude la काय होतं, when the atmospheric pressure is very less, when the boiling point decreases. So pressure cooker मध्ये काय टेक्निक असतं, आपण फूड प्रेशर कुकर मध्ये का करतो, because when the pressure is more, the boiling point increases, and the air pressure is less, the boiling point increases. So it's beneficial for those liquids which are having very high boiling point. I can reduce their boiling point by reducing the pressure, or I can also apply for those liquids which decompose on heating. So by reducing pressure, I can carry out their physical separation. You don't have this chromatographic technique, I can explain you, but that is not there for your syllabus. You are not going to do the practical work for this. Then chromatography मध्ये मी separation करते, like ink. I'm doing chromatography is a technique to separate the colloids. So till now, whatever we have done, we have talked about suspension, we have talked about solution. So suspension is a heterogeneous mixture, solution is the homogeneous mixture. For the heterogeneous mixture, which is colloid, which appears to be a homogeneous, but it is heterogeneous. So for the colloid separation, we use this chromatography technique. But त्यांनी 3.5 onwards तुम्हाला यावर्षी त्यांनी delete केलेला आहे. You don't have any colloid separation. You only have the suspension separation and the solution separation. So या lesson मध्ये आपण filtration बघितलं for suspension. Then we have seen the solution मध्ये crystallization, solid in liquid, fractional crystallization when two more liquids solutes are present in that liquid. Then we have seen liquid in liquid, immiscible liquids, it's a solvent extraction or separating funnel, and distillation and simple distillation for miscible liquids. Okay, so I'll end today's session. Lesson easy hota na? Okay, so जे आज absent आहे त्यांच्यासाठी मी quickly 5 minutes मध्ये lesson घेईन. ओमकार मी बाकी काही नाही, ते standard potential शिकवलं. It's nothing but something we have done last time as electrolysis. So yeah, so I'll end the session by try to solve the questions of these lessons as a homework. See you on Saturday. Bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Good day. Bye bye.